Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Rob Dew, and today's date is Wednesday, October 3rd, 2012, and here's a little look at what's coming up in tonight's edition.
Tonight on the InfoWars Nightly News, Rob Dew speaks with three-time Emmy Award-winning journalist Amber Lyon about the censorship of her documentary filmmaking. Plus, why are there only two candidates in the presidential debates? All that and more on the InfoWars Nightly News.
We start off tonight with a pathetic attempt by the BBC to create a reality conspiracy show. And basically what they're trying to do is appeal to the young children and tell them that, hey, here's some older people that think, you know, there's conspiracy theories and that the government wants to kill people. And we're going to prove that they're wrong by building straw man arguments and not letting the people who have information talk, or at least editing that information out. And this is all based on a Paul Joseph Watson interview he did with one John Scobie of We Are Change Birmingham. And the title of the article is 7/7 Bombings, Conspiracy Road Trip Debunked. John was one of the members of the crew. You could see him there on the left. And they go out with comedian Andrew Maxwell. And they take the kids on a 5-day trip driving around, looking at different locations, and basically trying to prove to them that, yes, it is possible that, you know, some Al-Qaeda-backed men went in and bombed some subway trains and a bus, and they weren't running drills on that same day. That's all crazy coincidence. And so we're going to go to a clip now. These are basically excerpts out of the interview that Paul did with John Scobie from We Are Change Birmingham. Let's go to that clip right now.
I would say that it wasn't an investigation into the truth. It was an attack, a reality show to attack people who have views which don't agree with the government.
They've changed their tactics, kind of, because the old BBC conspiracy shows from 5-6 years ago were about the BBC going out and trying to attack the conspiracy theories. Now they're doing it through so-called conspiracy theorists because nobody trusts the BBC to do it directly. So in getting people to recant their ideas, the viewer, you know, sees it and thinks, oh, they really believed in this, now they don't. That must mean it's not true. And that's the process that we saw with the programme. So just go through some of the things that they edited out.
First of all, I will say that they changed the narration of the show and actually would cut elements, you know, cut 2 minutes from here or 30 seconds from there, put them together, and in the show it made it look like it was all part of the same conversation. They did put a load of us, footage of us eating and footage of us on the bus having a row, which they had previously promised wouldn't go into the programme. What I said, which I thought was important, was around Operation Gladio, which of course was a NATO stay-behind army after the Second World War, which was, you know, we now know it has been declassified through the ex-Italian Prime Minister, etc., that they blew up buses, trains, you know, were involved with blowing up schools and things like that. And so this is historical fact, this is historical record, this is not conspiracy theory, and there is huge amounts of documentation to back this all up. And I said to the researchers, the cameramen, the director, this is really important. The only reason I'm going on the show is because I know you're going to edit it and it's not going to be great, but I just want one or two of these little bits of substance to please get in there so that the British people can have a choice in terms of the information that they see on this subject. And I thought the amount of times that I talked about Gladio, Al-Qaeda being funded by the CIA, being given $6 billion in 1989 through to 1992, the fact that Al-Qaeda was shipped in or flown in to fight proxy wars in Bosnia in the early 90s. I thought that some of this has got to get in there. And as I was watching it last night, I realised none of this is getting in there, John. I also spoke about Operation Northwards, which I thought was important. I had when they came to me and first asked me to take part, they said, what are your two most important, issues that stand out for you? I took the fact that the CCTV footage after King's Cross, there is none of it, and obviously in the most surveilled city in the world, that's mighty strange. And I also took the issue with Peter Power and his training exercise, Visor Consultants. And then I also tied that all into, there was the Panorama, which was around about 12, 14 months before, Terror on the Tube, which Peter Power took part in. And they forgot to mention that bit, strangely, when I was discussing it with them. I also tried to put forth the understanding that I have about 9/11, which was that Mayor Giuliani was running a drill that day or that weekend, which envisaged World Trade Center 7 being evacuated, Tripod 2. So I spoke about all these facts on numerous occasions with numerous individuals, and it appears that they just all disappeared, and none of these issues were important, according to the director, obviously.
So there you have it. He was trying to bring up Operation Gladio, Northwoods, and the fact that Peter Powers was running these exercises of the exact same trains and buses being hit at the exact same time. It's all coincidence, though, of course. You know, there's no way anybody could have possibly planned these bombings. And which brought up a neat point. We've been covering the 7/7 bombings lately, and back in July, we covered, we put on a clip of John Loftus basically talking about how the Al-Qaeda member that they were blaming for all these bombings was an actual member of MI6. So let's go to that clip now.
They were headed by, the Captain Hook, the imam in London, the Finsbury Mosque, without the arm. He was the head of that organization. Now, his assistant was a guy named Aswat, Harun Rashid Aswat.
Aswat, who they picked up. Yeah.
Aswat is believed to be the mastermind of all the bombings in London.
On the 7/7 and 7/21, this is the guy, we think.
This is the guy, and what's really embarrassing is that the entire British police are out chasing him, and one wing of the British government, MI6, or the British Secret Service, has been hiding him. And this has been a real source of contention between CIA,
Hold on, John.
Justice Department, and Britain.
MI6 has been hiding him. Are you saying that he has been working for them?
Oh, I'm not saying it. This is what the Muslim sheikh said in an interview in a British newspaper back in 2001.
So he's a double agent, or what?
He's a double agent.
He's working for the...
So there you have it. We produced tons of documentaries. Alex definitely has. You check out Terror Storm. He goes all into the 7/7 bombings and how it was a total farce, and it was planned by the government. And don't believe me. Go check it out for yourself.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.